Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Burgess, and welcome to my podcast, The Conscious Pioneer. I am your host, and I will be guiding you through many episodes of exploring how it is that we can be the best versions of ourselves by exploring our consciousness, how to give ourselves more love, to develop ourselves emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and really come into our bodies so that we are aligned fully with space and time and can really experience the beauty that life has to offer and the beauty within ourselves. In this podcast, there will be myself talking about my experience and the truth that's happening for me currently. And I will also be having guests that also are amazing and have been having their own spiritual conscious explorations and experiences so that they can be the best versions of themselves too. Really, it's about all of us coming together and discovering the real beauty of life and who we are and how we can make the most of this experience on Earth at this period in time that we are experiencing now. So I welcome you here. Thank you for joining me, and I hope that you enjoy the show. Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Burgess, and welcome to my podcast, The Conscious Pioneer. It is the 23rd of January, 2024 right now, in this moment when I'm recording this. And it's a blustery day. It's been grey throughout the day. It's been rainy. And I've been feeling a bit of that in my heart as well. Just a little gloomy, a little unclear, and feeling like I've been putting pressure on myself to show up in a different way for myself, but not exactly knowing what that is, other than to try and create a little bit more structure and be more kind and generous and really tap in with myself about what I need and how I can best support myself through the emotions that I'm moving through. I'm just going to check the audio is sounding okay. Okay, I've just put my headphones on. Just so you know, this is a video podcast as well. And I was going to not have my headphones in just for visual reasons, but I think it's better that I can hear what I'm saying and that the sound is coming through. I would love to tell you exactly what to expect from this podcast, but to be honest, my expectations and knowing about what this is about feels unclear to a degree at the moment. I feel like if I talk about it more, we will discover more about what I have to say. It's just at the moment I am definitely moving through a period of not knowing, and also feeling like I've made some commitments to myself to really move into and claim this next period for myself, which involves a podcast and also involves me feeling like I'm not quite ready for it. And also letting go of perfectionism and it needing to look a certain way, to have goals, to be very clear about what it is. And in a sense, I can tell you that it's going to be me showing up on camera, talking about whatever is true for me in this moment, and also having guests on talking about what is true for them in this moment too, which inherently involves vulnerability and just being present with the moment and allowing the moment to guide the way. And when you do that, it really feels like having to let go of control of expectations and knowing about what's going to come out. But I think it's quite cool to have that intention, right? To just have the intention of showing up and seeing what happens. It just feels a little hard to place in a way. But what I can tell you is that due to my many years now of consciousness development within myself, which for me means unraveling or having unraveled and discovered and being an archaeologist of my own inner sanctuary, I've spent the time really honing who I am and discovering who I am and discovering what I'm not and letting go of everything that I have carried that is not mine genetically and programmatically. And I've really done the self-development. I've been single for the last 5 years. I mean, there have been a few guys come and gone, not, a few minor relationships, which I would call confirming deletions. And I do have beautiful relationships in my life, friendships, and I'm still waiting for the right man to come along for me. And I'm excited because it feels like it's not far away. But it also feels like I really want to anchor in and develop my own presence online and career-wise and really help that build its own platform so that when I do meet that man, I already have that more established than where I am now. Although I wouldn't say no to him popping into my life before that, because I also feel like for me to really develop a relationship with someone, it really has to be built on trust, and trust takes time. Someone showing you that they can consistently show up to this space and that I can consistently show up and trust them. And I really feel that starts more with a friendship. So, yeah, we'll see how it all comes about. But I used to never be able to be without a relationship. I always had to be in one. And that was from a very, very young age. So, very young. I think I had my first kiss at 9 or 10. And yes, there was always interest from guys, and also guys that were older than me. And I responded to that as feeling wanted and desired and affirmed, because I didn't really have that in my home life. So I'm not technically an only child, but I had the experience of an only child. So my dad had three children before me, 2 boys and a girl. The girl and the boy were from a separate marriage to the other boy. So I have 2 half brothers, a half sister. I don't know if that's the technological, like the PC way to talk about brothers and sisters, but yeah. So, but they were born 40 years. No, wrong. Hang on, I feel like this lighting could be better. But I also, this is the thing, there's always this perfectionism in me that comes along and says that this could be better, this could be better. And until you just say this is what it is, and we're going with it, I would just constantly be shifting and changing things. And then I think it's really great for the creative process, because I have an eye for design and the way things should look and that sort of things. But it also comes at a fault sometimes. So I am just going to leave the lighting as it is. I mean, the reason why, okay, so I also don't talk in linear fashion. We're going to be going all over the place here, but that's just like, things aren't linear anyway, so we're going to work with it. No, I can't even remember what I was saying before that explanation. We'll go back to the childhood thing. This is fun, isn't it? Yeah. Give me a second here. And you know what? Let's all just take a deep breath in, because I also work as a frequency healer and I'm coming into that. I'm evolving into that myself. And so, really, when I talk and speak with people, it's more than just a conversation. It's really tapping. It's not tapping in, because I don't like enter your space in any way. I don't tap into your space. It's more like I witness you and see the best you that you can be. I see your essence. I see the version of you where you could be. And my interaction with you kind of speaks to you on that level. So even if we're not doing a meditation together, and I do work with meditations, then there is an effect that happens where I connect with your higher self and help bring you into that space. Because I've spent so much time and energy in evolving that for myself that it's almost like someone's already walked up the mountain and the path is already laid, and I'm just showing a light, a guidepost to where you need to go. And that happens on a frequency level. And that's not necessarily like sound frequencies or light frequencies. It is more your blueprint level, which isn't necessarily in space and time. It's your higher self that exists outside of space and time, which then sends this rendering into the physical. So we have these physical bodies that are renderings of our higher selves, and we have filters that are essentially programs that run, that either are meant to be there in our systems to help us develop and get to know ourselves and really flourish on this earth life. And we also have programs running that are just inefficient and not helpful. And a lot of them are passed on through our genetics and also from traumas in this life and in past lives. So, yeah. Let's all just take a deep breath in together. Just noticing the space around you. Noticing the details in your space. Noticing any sounds, any smells, and the taste in your mouth. And where your body is touching the ground. Feeling the gravity interact with your body. And feeling the clothes on your skin. And when you're looking around the room or the car or the garden, wherever you are, just taking some time to notice the details of something specific around you, and then where that is in relationship to your body. And a specific point in your body. So maybe it's the tip of your pinky finger or your sternum or your forehead. And do that with a couple of objects and details from the outside world and on your body. So what I've learned over time, and specifically in the last 5 years working with my teacher, Mas Sajadi, is that to really experience and flourish as humans in this body, in our life, in our lifetime and beyond, anytime we're experiencing life on Earth, we need to be as aligned with the 0 point of space and time as possible. And many diseases and afflictions, either mental, physical, emotional, are mostly down to the fact that we are not in the center point of space and time. And that might sound like, what is she on about? How does that make any sense? Well, if you're running a program of cancer, which may be genetic or not, that program is causing you to distort your body, yourself, out of your center point. So it's pulling you away, as is depression and anxiety, either forwards or backwards in time. And, if you think of where you need to be, or like where your optimal self is on like a piece of graph paper with 4 axes, and you're in the middle, everything that takes you away from the center point is hindering your experience of life. And that is, again, physical, psychological, mental, anything. And it can affect us in different ways. But essentially, if we can remove that from the programming level, we can remove that filter. And let's say, trying to just think of an example here that isn't going to be too challenging to understand. So suicide comes up for me, as in to speak about. And so suicide is this feeling of not wanting to be here and not wanting to be alive, wanting to kill oneself. And an actual suicide means going ahead and doing that. Suicide is a deep topic, so let's all just take a deep breath in with this one. And it also feels like if you have any suicidal tendencies or have any friends, that they are just being supported in this moment. So I do just want to talk about the abilities that I have. So I've spoken a little bit about bringing you into your higher self, but I also feel like there's a way that I am able to really help you move into that higher dimension of yourself. And so the pattern that was running, that was creating that feeling of needing or wanting to kill oneself, that starts to be removed because it's not meant to be there. And you can come into a higher space of yourself and delete that programming. And that's essentially what happens with frequency work. So just taking a deep breath in together again. And suicide could be for many reasons. It could be in a past life that you had an experience of torture or a terrible relationship and there was no way to get out of it other than to kill yourself. And so there's that aspect of your past life that is still running in you, that you still feel like you want to do that. You still feel like that experience is happening. And there's also a way with frequency work to remove timestamps. So you can't delete the fact that it happened, but you can change your experience to it, and you can also stop the program from running in this life. So I feel like I'm not sure who's watching this, but I feel myself working on the people watching this who have those tendencies or who have family members, to just support them in removing whatever is causing that reason for that feeling. I feel like it's quite present now for the reasoning, not just to help you guys, but to also speak that I have had that experience in the past, especially around my menstrual cycle. Like, I used to have so much excruciating pain during my cycle. And it wasn't just physical as well, it was mental. Like, I literally just always would say, like, here in my mind, I want to die. I just want to die. And the pain was so bad that I just didn't want to experience the pain, and didn't, like, it was happening every month and I couldn't. It was just, it's just hard. And it wasn't just those moments where I felt like that. I just felt broken most of my life, and spent majority of my time with this feeling of melancholy that I could never shake, and could never really feel like anyone understood me. And when I did talk about it, maybe sometimes it would feel a little bit better, but it wasn't something, it was just seriously something I couldn't shake. And I do feel it sometimes coming up for me, as I was saying at the beginning of this podcast, that I've just been feeling a little bit unclear and moody with the weather, and just wanting to be able to show up for myself. But now I know how to deal with those emotions better, and I also don't get them in the same kind of intensity and length of time. I just have more of this awareness that when I'm feeling these feelings, I'm actually clearing them. And before, I was just stuck in them. And that's how frequency work really, really helped me, because it gave me this perspective and guidebook and sense of how to move through difficult emotions by allowing me to really tap into the original source of who I am, and feeling and knowing that these feelings that are moving through me are not me. They're an experience that I'm having, but they're not who I am, and they don't belong here. And because I'm experiencing them, I'm sort of re-experiencing the experience so that that program can get deleted. Yeah. And I can feel like I'm losing a few of you here talking about this stuff, but I want to just say, just bear with me, because this podcast is really about talking about how we can really come into our best selves as humans. And we have all this stuff that's been passed down to us that we really shouldn't have. So this is the greatest work of our generation, to clean up what our parents and their forefathers and our ancestors did not do, which was that I suppose they didn't really know or have the space. Like, everyone's done the best that they could. But now we have the space, and we actually have to do this work, this internal work for ourselves. Because we can't continue with this path. We can't keep passing this down to our children. So we're the ones that have to do the work, to feel through, to understand, to really allow this process to happen, to give ourselves the grace and the love and the care and the kindness, to just know that this is the time for this great peeling away of this old way of doing things, this old consciousness, these old programming, so that we can really shift into this new dimension of self and this new earth consciousness that's here. We can't take anything that doesn't belong with us. It's going to hurt even more if we do. So this is the time to really let it go, to really process it, to really feel it, to really get the support that we need in order to allow it to peel away, to have the tools to know what to do when it comes up, and to allow it to to allow it to peel away. And as the peeling happens, as the shedding happens, as the cleaning and the clearing and the continual self-love that you give to yourself happens, the stronger you get, the more whole you get, the more complete you are, the more evolved you are, the more that you can love yourself, the more that you can find yourself, the more that you can experience the beauty of life, the true beauty, the more that you can just really feel the very reason why you're here. You can begin to really feel your essence. And every time you get just a little bit more of a taste of yourself and who you really are, and it becomes easier to keep coming back to that aspect of yourself and knowing that the things that pass through, the clearing that happens, it's not you. And even though we might get caught in it a little bit, and it can be hard, and some days you just don't need to do anything. And then a lot of times you do have to allow your whole life to completely implode for you to be able to move to the next step. So a lot of it, if you are kind of early on in the journey, I'm not saying that everything needs to completely fall apart, but if you're in a toxic relationship, if you're in a job that you don't like, if you feel suffocated by your environment, if you're not with people that are bringing you up, then bringing you down, even though you might not want to admit it, all of that can't be there if you want to be the best version of yourself. And fine if you want to stay in that, but you just got to think, we have this one life, and yeah, we have more. And we are limitless. We are limitless beings having this human experience. But right now we have this life that we're in, that we're so blessed to have, that we're so blessed to experience, that we have people around us also doing the same thing. And the more that you elevate yourself, the more you attract people who are elevated too. And you get to have that experience of supporting each other. And that's really beautiful as well. So beautiful. And yeah, it's so it's a real blessing that we are here. And sometimes I forget that as well, especially when things just feel very unclear and I'm like, what's going on? What can I even do for myself right now? And sometimes there's not a lot that you can do. And sometimes you just take a little step towards something and then you're in the next thing and you're like, oh yeah, no, I'm good here. I'm good here. But again, a lot of the work is really about being in space and time, and a really effective way to do that is with spatial referencing. So just as I was guiding earlier, and we can do it again now, just noticing what's around you in your space, noticing the details, really seeing if you can get granular, seeing if you can really just feel yourself in the space around you, what the space feels like, looks like, smells like, and how it relates to your body, feeling your body, noticing some detail and noticing a specific area in your body, and doing that in various places, especially in the corners of the room. So you can really locate yourself in ahead of you and behind you, because we are renderings here. And the more that we can find ourselves within the environment, it's almost like if you think about a video game, and if the rendering's off slightly and you're doing these moves, but it's like maybe a little bit to the left rather than connected to the actual character, that's what can happen to us. And so really practicing and spending time noticing your environment can really help you shift and come into your body more, because it's really about connecting your limitless self into your human body. And when we do this practice of really focusing on what's around us and what our body is, and also our outlines of our body, and just really doing deeper meditations on the frequency work that we can do for allowing our bodies to, it's just kind of allow them to flow naturally, because we also, with these programmings, they can create holding patterns in our body. And there can also be parts of our body that just aren't ours. So maybe something's very similar to our parents or our grandparents. It's just been passed down. But we get to really reclaim that for ourselves. And when you do frequency work, your face can change, your structure can change. So much can shift and change because you're actually becoming you. And you can get rid of diseases that you're not meant to have, aging patterns, all that kind of stuff. So on that note, I feel like let's just do a little mini meditation here to really, well, for one, I just want to bless this podcast space. I want to give myself some love and appreciate the fact that I'm showing up here and that I will post this video, and this will be the first episode. You wouldn't know. Yeah, there's been a lot of times that I have recorded this first podcast episode. I haven't always done it video. There's a few that are sitting around just as audios. Yeah, I've really either not been ready or just got in the way of myself. And this time it's going out there. I don't want to say whether I like it or not, but I just feel like I sometimes just don't give myself the credit for what I am and what I have to offer, and how much just being myself on camera could impact people. And this podcast is going to be with that we'll have interviews and conversations on here, again, about what's present and also about how we can become our best selves, and talking a lot about frequency work and Master Jadi's work, which has been the most powerful process for me to really come into myself. But yes, just blessing this space, blessing myself. This is just for me for this moment. I will get to you guys. But if you guys want to also help me bless this podcast, and maybe I just feel like maybe some people don't really know what I'm saying when I say bless, and maybe they're not religious, and I'm not religious either. I literally just, I believe in the truth. That's it. Truth and love. That's it. So with blessing, it doesn't have to be religious. So I'm just going to give some good energy, some good vibes, some appreciation, some honor to the fact that this podcast is going to be done, executed. Wow, executed. Fuck, sorry, that's such an intense word. Oh God. And the and the suicide topics dropping in again. Anyway, I don't think I want to use that word. I do not want to use that word. I'm so sorry that came out. But when we talk about things being executed well, it's like it's delivered well, it was done well. This is very interesting. Right. So anyway, we're not executing my podcast. We are giving it a lot of love and generosity and kindness and space and consistency. It's either going to be every 1 week or 2 weeks. We're going to see how this one rolls and how I feel. And I think it would be nice to do it weekly, but it might be a little bit more sustainable by every fortnight. And then once I find a rhythm, we can do weekly. So let's see. So just blessing my podcast, blessing myself, giving myself some love for doing this, for sharing myself, for being seen, for being vulnerable, for actually doing this. And then for all of you guys, I just want to thank you so much if you're here. And even if you're not here, just the fact that we all are here showing up to life and all of its aspects. And if all of you want to join me with putting a hand on your heart and closing your eyes, and just getting a sense of your body, getting a sense of your outline. Taking a deep breath in together. Connecting to your higher self, your spirit, your source, whatever you want to call it, your purest essence. Asking the question, how can I connect to my purest essence even stronger? How can I feel more love for myself in this moment? How can I bless myself? How can I feel more of myself? How can I allow wholeness into my experience? How can I allow myself to feel the blessings of this life? To really experience the joy, to really experience what I want to experience, to really know myself, to really feel who I am and what I have to offer the world, to really feel my presence in my body, to feel like it is safe to be here and it is safe to feel. It is safe to be me. And what does support look like for me? What would support feel like if I was truly supported, which I am, although sometimes I don't feel it? What would that feel like? To feel inherently supported in everything that I do, in every moment that I am here. To know that I am deeply loved, no matter what. That I am truly taken care of every step of the way. What would that feel like? And how can I experience more of that for myself? Just really allowing yourself to relax in this moment, allowing yourself to really receive. Deeper feelings of love, really feeling your own essence of who you are. Really dropping into that deeper space within yourself, allowing energy to flow. Taking a deep breath in and just breathing out after your breath in into those spaces that feel like they need a little bit more support. Maybe they've been feeling a little cold. Sending your own energy into these spaces, reclaiming yourself, reclaiming who you are, and connecting to that really deep feeling of love that you have for yourself. And also forgiveness. Forgiving yourself for not feeling like you are worthy of love. Forgiving yourself for not feeling like you were made for this life. Forgiving yourself for ever punishing yourself. Feeling the support that you have around you, which is a lot. Allowing yourself to feel loved, cherished, adored by yourself, not needing it from anyone else. Putting your hand on your heart and just giving yourself, well, I guess I'm just pressing on my chest here and it feels nice. Giving yourself almost like that internal hug. You can even hug yourself. And taking this energy with you throughout your day, whatever time it is, into your sleep. And when you're ready, opening your eyes, coming back to the room that you're in. I really feel like the more that we can give ourselves love, the more that we can take this time to really nourish and nurture ourselves in this way, it's extremely, extremely powerful. Because it helps us reclaim our bodies and our sense of self and our essence, and then we can show up better in the world. We also can't get pushed around as much. We start to respect ourselves more, which garners respect from the outside world. And once we really start to claim that honor within ourselves, things can start to shift very quickly. But it all starts with this internal feeling, this almost mindset, this place where we establish our underlying patterns. And we can rewire ourselves. And that's what Mass Sajati does. And that's what I'm getting into as well. So if you've enjoyed this podcast, thank you so much for joining me. There will at least be one every other week. And let me know how this landed for you. You can check out my website at stephiburgess.com. That's STEPHIBUB, B for B, URGESS, G for giraffe.com. stephiburgess.com. You can find me on Instagram, Steffi Burgess. And if you've enjoyed this, please leave a review. It's very new. It would probably help me. And feel free to reach out to me. There is the Human Reset with Mass Sajati happening next week. So if you have any interest in that, that's going to be a great time to really transform in February. I am offering sessions and it's all starting. But I am noticing my feeling of needing or wanting to run before I'm walking. So yeah, we are just taking it easy in terms of steps, because I'm noticing the more that I'm moving forward, the more that I'm being seen, the more weaknesses that come up for me that I need to hold myself in, especially my darling inner child. And all of us, it really helps to do that work, to just hold ourselves and just really be kind and gentle and listen to what's happening inside. And I'm totally a proponent for pushing yourself. I'm an athlete. I'm in the gym a lot. I've just started doing indoor skydiving training. Like, I really love putting myself in situations where I'm uncomfortable. But if I am doing that, I am making sure that the part of me that doesn't want to do it, there's often a little part of me that's like, oh, just no, just stay home. I talk to that. I acknowledge that part of me. I talk to that part of me, and I make sure that I'm acknowledging that part of me even when I'm doing these things. And often it's not there. Once I've given it that initial, it's okay, I love you, and we're going to do this, and it's going to be fun, and we're going to do it together. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if that helps, but it's something that I do for myself. Yeah. And with that, guys, I think it's a wrap. So thank you so much for joining me. Join me on my next one. Oh, there is a mass sajati. So on the 28th of September, the 28th of January, mass is during his mass on Sunday at 4:30 p.m. And if you're watching this in the future, you can always go back on his YouTube and find it. But I do feature there on one of the sessions, and it's the last session, and it's on impact sessions, success and goal setting. So if you want to see how mass works in action, you can have a look there. And yes, so for now, thank you so much for being with me. I really appreciate you, and let's make this world a better place together. Okay, sending you so much love. See you next time. Bye for now.